Welcome to Books for Success. Today, we're unraveling the insights from The Dorito Effect by Mark Schatzker. Explore the science behind flavor manufacturing and its consequences on your health. Get tips on how to limit unhealthy foods and select a plan that suits your needs. You'll learn why even organic products get bland, what pines have to do with vanillin, which chemicals you should avoid the most, how to choose nutritious chicken at the market. If you like our content, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Don't be shy about smashing that like button if you discover something valuable. Let's grow and succeed together. Flavors have changed significantly since the 1950s. Some tendencies are warning flags indicating we have chosen the wrong path. Often, they are so sophisticated that we see only parts instead of the whole picture. For instance, although obesity isn't a recent phenomenon, its current pace is unprecedented. In the 1960s, only 13.4% of Americans experienced it, while nowadays, this number has climbed to 35%. If we add overweight people, the total will constitute 2/3 of the U.S. population. Other countries face similar problems. A sedentary lifestyle, a consumerist society, and junk food are pieces of this global challenge puzzle. Mark Schatzker has identified another one. We started to lose a tool that helped thousands of previous generations. Why? All evidence leads to flavor. Have you ever used spicy dressing to overshadow watery tomatoes? Or added whipped cream to fruits because they tasted bland? It wasn't necessary for the first half of the last century, but then the situation changed dramatically. For instance, the prominent cookbook Mastering the Art of French Cooking, 1961, compared the taste of chicken to teddy bear stuffing. At the same time, other products have gained new flavors. Arch West, vice president of marketing at Frito-Lay, came up with this business idea in the 1960s. When he told executives about tortilla chips or Doritos, which tasted like tacos, they believed it was impossible. Now, we can only smile at this blissful ignorance. After that, Doritos acquired the flavor of nacho cheese. When customers got used to it, the version with a salad dressing taste appeared in 1986. Now, there are 14 various types. What happens to the taste, and how does it impact us? What tool may we lose? Let's investigate this food case together. Fertilization and selective breeding have adverse side effects. If we read the recipes of chicken dishes published from 1896 through 1917, we will only see salt and pepper as seasonings. Spices were accessible, but cooks didn't need them. The poultry flavor was sufficient. How did the taste of teddy bear stuffing occur? The reasons date back to the end of the 18th century when scientists discovered vitamins. Farmers used this knowledge to their advantage. Therefore, chickens didn't need to go outside and eat bugs and grass to stay healthy. Now, their diet was primarily carbs to make them develop faster and vitamins. As a result, broilers appeared. Let's put their growth pace into perspective. If human infants have the same growth speed, they will weigh 300 kilograms in 2 months. A poor diet concentrated on weight gain made chicken cheap but also bland. Firstly, that's because broilers are ready for tables in 35 days, 2 times faster than in 1948. They are young and, by default, taste worse than older ones. Secondly, chicken has no flavor. Poultry acquires it from food, a phenomenon called biodistribution. It leads us to another part of the problem: plants also lose flavor. A few processes may explain that. Firstly, fertilized and irrigated plants are less nutritious. For instance, kale had twice as much riboflavin in the 1950s than nowadays. Secondly, essential vitamins and minerals disappeared due to breeding. Researchers were so focused on disease resistance and yields that they neglected the genes that account for good flavor, and some of them got lost. The term genetic dilution denotes this process. Let's examine this in the example of tomatoes. Compared to the past centuries, their yields doubled. Yet it's too much for the plants. They are a limited source and can't provide nutrients to all fruits. What replaces the remaining amount? Water. Moreover, tomatoes underwent another mutation to get rid of stripes of green and become uniformly red. Yet green stretches, full of chlorophyll, are energy generators, enriching the fruit with flavor. Consequently, the blandness of real food paved the way for the popularity of flavorings. How scientists bottled vanilla. The industry needs flavorings. They assist in selling new products and are cheap and stable sources of good taste. The originals, on the contrary, were often hard to get. For instance, due to its popularity, vanilla was a core commodity for McCormick and Company. But it had a high price. A year and a half passed from pollinating vanilla orchids by hand to picking their beans and making extracts. Furthermore, Madagascar was the principal supplier, so the situation worsened in 1975. The country became a socialist state with nationalized industries, which undermined the production of vanilla. The price rocketed, and McCormick and Company was at a dead end. At first, vanillin couldn't help, as manufacturers made it from orchid beans. Then, Wilhelm Harman, a German chemist at the University of Berlin, offered another recipe. He discovered how to make the vanilla flavor from pine cones through chemical processes and opened his factory in Holzminden. The latter soon received the name City of Fragrances. Why this one? The tongue identifies only 5 basic tastes, like sweet or umami. Thus, the flavor is often an aroma we perceive by retronasal olfaction. It means we smell the scent when the food is in our throats. Nevertheless, Harman's vanillin had a drawback. It lacked depth. Therefore, McCormick and Company decided to craft a new chemical that would resemble the original better. The best experts examined vanilla extract to identify how it tastes, distinguishing woody, rummy, and other notes. Then, researchers combined synthetic matches of these flavors. It took them 2 years to find a more or less correct balance. However, the mix still missed one component, resinous. There were no similar chemicals in laboratories. So, scientists turned to gas chromatography. How does it work? People put a drop of extract in this machine. The technology extracts the chemicals that constitute the flavor of the input and emits these compounds one by one. It provides a diagram that shows the share of these components, whether they prevail or are minor. Having determined the resinous compound, researchers captured it in a bottle. As a result, imitation vanilla was born, and the flavor industry took off. Synthetic flavors and where to find them. Although imitation vanilla contained only 30 components, whereas the extract had hundreds, the manufacturers were satisfied. It was almost impossible to detect the difference. People considered the original and fake versions identical. Therefore, great flavor migration began. Its history closely relates to the development of gas chromatography. For example, when it helped to detect grapefruit's nut ketone in nearly 1970, this chemical appeared in soda fresca. The numbers speak for themselves. In 1965, people used less than 700 chemicals, while nowadays, this list includes 2,200. Moreover, as manufacturers can combine them, we have endless combinations. We smell some of them. Others, like hydrolyzed protein or autolyzed yeast, create an umami taste. We may believe that avoiding consuming these chemicals is simple. Stop buying junk food. However, the truth is more complicated. Pubs, cafes, and diners often cook or heat what flavor companies have seasoned. For instance, one restaurant didn't want to prepare fish on cedar planks but strived to save this flavor. Thus, it signed a deal with a company specializing in this field, achieving its aim with the help of chemicals. Furthermore, herbal tea, oatmeal, breakfast cereal, tzatziki sauce, granola, juices, and many other products contain synthetic flavors. The yearning for considerable profits and the need to make yogurt taste like yogurt are some of the reasons. Another essential incentive is that people crave new flavors as they relate them to new experiences and emotions. Consequently, the flavor industry must be incredibly dynamic to astound us. Creating a new cracker is a telling example. If experts do this, they consider a few factors. Firstly, they identify their consumer need states. The flavors must arouse daring and enthusiastic feelings if the company wants to serve this product in bars. Biscuits should evoke calmness and steadiness if the target audience eats them at home. Most flavors have emotional profiles. For instance, respondents connect cinnamon with understanding and contentment. Secondly, experts pay attention to tendencies in various spheres, from toys to color palettes in home designs. But the central ones are food preferences around the world. What makes food addictive? Flavors can shed light on a few reasons for our excessive consumption. For instance, A common misconception about overweight people is that they enjoy eating more than those who are slim. The truth is more nuanced. A distinctive feature is how much we crave to taste something. A simple image of a cake makes obese people incredibly eager to take a bite. Anticipation breeds high expectations that food can't fulfill. Therefore, the person eats more, hoping enjoyment will come soon. Sometimes it happens. High-carb beverages, for example, may improve our mood, but only for 2 hours. But often, our predictions are inaccurate. Furthermore, the longer we indulge in a delicious meal, the less pleasure we get and the worse we feel afterward. It creates a vicious circle. What drives us to eat more? The ubiquitous best guess is sugar, salt, and fat. Many of us and surely companies know well that this combination is almost irresistible. However, this answer scratches the surface of the problem. If we give children water with sugar, they won't enjoy it or ask for more. Yet when we add flavorings like orange, they will drink beverages in the blink of an eye. It shows that we often crave flavor, not sweetness. In the past, the former came with real food nutrients, while now it's chemicals. No matter what companies call them, natural or artificial, they trick us. The only difference is that the former derives from yeast, leaves, roots, and other cheap substances, while the latter originates from petrochemicals. We will discuss the consequences of this substitution soon. Some of the synthetic components have immense power over us. Umami taste affects part of the brain that is responsible for making decisions. Therefore, people become more impulsive. Additionally, it stimulates the insula, which accounts for addiction. Palatants. Scientists devise them to make animals grow faster. For instance, sucrame resembles milk and makes cattle eat more by 5%. Now we can also find these palatants in food for pets and ourselves. Although many of these components aren't recent phenomena, nowadays, they are accessible to most people. Besides, since natural products get bland, people choose more intensive flavors. Our innate food wisdom is at risk. In the early 1990s, American psychobiologist Gary Beauchamp received a call from British remedies makers. They were worried that customers didn't like the bitter taste of their new product, anti-inflammatory ibuprofen, and asked the scientist for a solution. He helped them and forgot about this taste until 1999 when he took a sip of homemade olive oil at a conference in Italy. It had the same flavor as ibuprofen. That oil must have anti-inflammatory components, Beauchamp thought. His hypothesis was correct, and it explained what makes the Mediterranean diet so healthy. This story proves that people have an inner compass that helps them understand which food is beneficial. It's not only a question of experience. American pediatrician Clara Davis did an overwhelming experiment in 1926. She convinced mothers to let her care for their children, aged 6 to 11 months. 15 infants followed a special diet. Daily, they had access to 34 organic products like cabbage, beef, and apples. They had never tasted butter or sugar. The researcher didn't incentivize them to eat some specific food. Children selected their nutrition by themselves. Kids tried small portions of all given products during the first 2 weeks. Then they chose their favorites and united them in well-balanced diets. The children were thriving. Even when they caught a cold, they recovered in 3 days. Evolution provides a tool that ensures a healthy life, need states. When we lack some nutrients, we want products that feature them. When we can't find a suitable ingredient, we eat less and search for new food, using flavor as our guide. Yet nowadays, need states don't work properly. Chemicals confuse us. We drink water with a lemon taste but don't get any nutrients. The same holds for added vitamins, as we will soon discover. Our natural wish for diversity in food, as it ensures the whole spectrum of minerals, is at risk. We can eat the same junk food daily, and it won't become boring, as flavorings establish false variety. We need to slow this confusion. Let's leave the taste design to nature. The reason why any substitution is worse than the original is its superficiality. Although we use more than 2,000 chemicals, it's a drop in the ocean compared to nature's arsenal. We have discovered only 45,000 plant secondary compounds from approximately a million. It's a whole unknown universe of flavors. Moreover, we still take baby steps to understand these components' functions. The common belief is that we stop eating when we feel stuffed. In fact, satiety occurs when we reach a secondary compound wall. For instance, broccoli or grapes have a bitter taste that lowers hunger. The more we eat them, the faster we become full. Consequently, our food portions depend heavily on the products we choose for our meals. Some plant secondary compounds are antioxidants. But when scientists tried to put them into pills, it didn't work because combination and dosage also mattered. We can't extract some elements from a system and hope they will have the same qualities. It also explains why multivitamins aren't as effective as they should be. Moreover, they establish false links. For example, imagine people who need thiamine, B1. If they eat cereals with this vitamin added, they will like this product more and won't eat food rich in B1, like cauliflower. So, natural flavors are our solution to being healthy. The following ways will increase their amount in our ration. Cook at home to control the ingredients of your dishes. Visit markets to get acquainted with local farmers that provide grass-fed beef and pasture-raised pork. As for the chicken, also ask how old it is. The best one is 12 to 18 weeks. Don't let skin color confuse you. It may be due to added yellow pigments. Instead, you can pay attention to its legs, which must be longer than broilers' legs, and its weight. It shouldn't be obese. Research for new sorts of plants, as scientists have cultivated nutritious vegetables with significant yields. Technology can fix what it has caused. Did you know? We can distinguish over 1 trillion aromas. Conclusion. The flavor is more than an attribute of food. It's a means of communication, telling us whether the products are beneficial or harmful. For instance, 20 compounds of tomatoes that encourage us to eat them consist of nutrients essential for our well-being. Unfortunately, a glitch occurred in these conversations at some point, and now people rarely listen to their actual needs. Many factors account for this change. Flavor corporations are part of the problem. They make products taste like something else, disorienting our senses. However, their commodities find loyal customers who choose them because of low income or wish for new flavors. The blandness of natural products also contributes to the popularity of synthetic chemicals. In California alone, yields of nectarine doubled, that of beets tripled, and tomato and strawberry harvests have risen by 500% since the mid-1940s. Indeed, it left its mark on the flavor of products. At the same time, we have a glimmer of hope. Now scientists understand the importance of flavor and breed new plant species to satisfy the food industry and customers. Programs aim to support local farmers multiply, and the new laws tighten the labeling rules so that we know all the ingredients. Moreover, the more we limit flavorings in our rations, the better we will hear from the best nutritionists, the one inside us. Try this. Read the labels. Monosodium glutamate, disodium inosinate, yeast extract, acesulfame potassium, sucralose, and many others enhance the taste. If it's challenging to eliminate all products with artificial flavorings from your diet, start with one. Note how your food preferences have changed. Then you can get rid of another harmful item, and so on. Try different products. Even if you don't like some ingredients in childhood, you may find them delicious nowadays. Our preferences transform due to our needs. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey. If you've enjoyed our summary, consider reading the full book for a more in-depth exploration. Before you go, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this video with someone who could benefit from these insights. Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and keep growing.